Hey you there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. It's me, Donna. So I bet you clicked on this video because you're wondering how I got two-timed. Well, you are at the right address. Let me just jump straight into the story. Let's get into this. So the year was 2015. That was the year I first traveled to Korea. That was the year that, you know, a lot of crazy stuff happened to me. How do I start? So because I traveled alone, most of the time I spent my time alone, or like I linked up with Korean friends. But you know, you kind of get lonely when you're in a whole other country with no one, you know, between brackets. So I ended up becoming friends with these girls from Switzerland, and that night we decided to link up. So we went to this bar and we're having drinks, just chilling, you know, having a good time between us girls, grooving, listening to music, dressed up nicely, you know. It was a good day. It was a good evening. It was chill. It was nice. You get the gist of it. Okay, we move. We're sitting down, and that's when a group of foreigners come into the venue, and then they sit like over there. Immediately we noticed that they noticed us. Obviously, it's obvious that foreigners are gonna notice each other. But yeah, so they were trying to like establish contact or something like that. And one guy came to talk to us. He's like, oh, hi, la la la. So we're like, oh, hi, how are you? And he started talking about how they're musicians and they came to perform in Korea, and how we should come to sit down at their table because we can get drinks. And we respectfully declined. We were like, no, thank you. He kept being pushy, and he was like, no, we're la la la. And we're like, no. And he's like, oh, la 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 la. And we're like, no, thank you, but you may sit down where you were sitting and leave us alone so we can enjoy our night further. You know, no, yes. So he left eventually against his own will. Meantime, there is a group of Korean guys that come in. I think they were like 3. They sit down next to us, like the table next to us, and so they also notice how that other group is trying to establish contact with us, because eventually they sent a girl to come to talk to us. Girl, for what?
I had a reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
For what? Why? Like, did you not see how we sent your friend back? Why did you have to come? So she comes and she sits next to us and she starts conversating with us and la la la. And we kind of feel bad for her, so we reply and we talk to her. But, you know, people who don't have any nunchi, like, they're not trying to understand that they're not welcome. She was one of those. So she kept talking, and I was just thinking, oh my God. So eventually she kind of left. She left. She went to sit back at her table. And so the Korean guys next to us, something funny happens. They are fighting. They're fighting because none of them wants to talk to us first. They didn't know that I understood Korean. So I told the girls I was with, I was like, yo, they're fighting because they want to talk to us, but they're scared too. And then they were like, oh, okay, then talk to them. And I was like, no. Let me torture them a bit more, like let them suffer a bit more, you know. We would look at them and then they would be like, oh my God, they looked, and we'd be like. But eventually that other group was just getting on my nerves, that I decided I saw an opportunity right there. I told the Korean guys, yo, save us, 살려주세요. They started talking to us. They came closer to us. So that other group got the message. I hope so. All right. And then we left the venue because we're tired of being there, and we exchanged informations. And in that group, there was one guy, the guy in question, the two-timer, Mr. Clown. smooth criminal. Him. I think we spotted each other. Yeah. So he asked for my Instagram. So I gave him my Instagram. I was like, this is my Instagram. Here you go. And I think I didn't have internet. So I told him I would follow him when I got home. Okay. This is when it gets weird. At some point, I hear him talking to his friend, talking about he's gonna delete something. He has to delete something, but I don't really pay mind to it because it's not really relevant to the situation. But keep that in mind. It's gonna come back up later on in the story. So at this point, we've exchanged informations and they ask us what we're gonna do. So we tell them, oh yeah, we're going to this place, and they're like, oh, can we tag along? And we're like, okay, cool, just join us. You're welcomed. So they join us and we get to that club. We form a circle and we're just dancing to each other and just vibing, having fun. The night is young. And then all of a sudden, like, this guy comes and he's trying to move to me. But I tell him I'm not interested. He keeps being pushy. He's like, oh, come on, come on. And I'm like, no. No! I said, no, I'm not interested. And he's not getting the memory. He keeps being even more pushy. What is it with these guys not understanding what no is?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Seriously, it gets on my nerves. I said no. Mr. Clown notices that he's, the guy is... At this point, he's harassing me. And he comes between us. And he's telling me, oh yeah, tell him that I'm your boyfriend. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's my boyfriend, so you better back off. And I thought that would be enough. And that guy was like, oh, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Just admit it, like, it's not your boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, he is. So he's like, okay. He backs off, but he's still suspicious of, me perhaps lying. But I'm just thinking, if someone goes through the lengths of lying to make you understand that they're not interested, then they're not interested. What part of it do you not understand? But whatever, this is not what the story is about. We have a good time. It's time to leave and go home. They walked us home, basically. We're like chilling, talking. Mr. Clown tells me, oh, I just moved to this new flat. I'm organizing a housewarming party tonight. You should definitely come with your friends. And I'm like, okay, that's cute. Let's do this. So I tell my friends, yo, he's inviting us. And they're like, okay, cool. I get home. First thing I do is, of course, check his socials. To know who he is, look at pictures, get to know the guy even more. Can't stop me 'cause I'm I'm looking at him, I'm on his Instagram and I can't see pictures. Basically, he blocked me, but I was thinking, did he really block me? I'm so confused because isn't that the same guy who asked for my Instagram first? What was the reason for him to ask for my Instagram and then block me? I didn't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand. So first thing I do is ask one of my friends, yo, can you check his Instagram out? Like, this is the account, look him up. And she sees pictures, she says everything is fine. So I'm like, is something wrong with my internet maybe? I don't understand, because the place I was staying, the internet was kind of bad. So I was thinking maybe it's the internet. At that point, I'm just being Mrs. Clown. Like, I'm just looking for excuses. Obviously, I have a Finsta. So I have a backup account. So I look him up with my Finsta and it works perfectly. So I'm thinking, okay, so he actually did block me. For what? So at this point, this is what I do. I check out who tagged him. I see this one girl that tagged him in a lot of pictures. It's always in his comment sections. I scroll all the way down and I see one picture with this girl, but not that much. And I'm starting to remember that he said something about deleting. At some point, I hear him talking to his friend, talking about he's gonna delete something. He he has to delete something. I'm starting to get really suspicious. He messages me and he's like, oh yeah, so you still coming to my heartwarming party? I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I'm hesitating at this point. Should I tell him that, you know? I'm thinking maybe he blocked me by mistake. Kicked him by mistake.
Behavior.
I'm sorry I kicked it by mistake.
You can't.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to make excuses. Like, I don't want to acknowledge that the guy might have, you know, blocked me. Deliberately, voluntarily. Okay, I decide to ask him. I'm like, yo, is something wrong with your Instagram? Like, why am I blocked? And then he's like, really? What? No, I don't understand. Everything's fine. And I'm like, so maybe I really have an issue with my Instagram, you know. I keep thinking it's technical difficulty, but the guy decides to ghost me because I'm asking, so what's the information? I don't want to go, you know, empty-handed to a housewarming party. He stops replying and I have his friend's socials. So I contact his friend and I'm like, so is this housewarming party still happening or not? And then he's not really like getting straight to the point. I ask him, wait, by the way, does he have a girlfriend? And he's like, oh no, they recently just broke up. He starts saying stuff, nothing makes sense, if you know what I mean. And he's like asking why, and then I explain why. Basically, they all go MIA. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's over. Nice adventure. But no, a few days later, Mr. Clown contacts me again. Oh, hi, how are you? So sorry about the other day. He's saying he lost his phone or something like that.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop you fucking lying.
And me, dumb as I am, I'm like, oh, really? You're right, la la la. And he's like, yeah, we should definitely link up someday. Okay, cool, yeah, we can link up. But just tell me when, I'll tell my friends. When it's time to like set a date, he's not replying. He's ghosting me again. And I'm thinking, why are you ghosting me again? Oh, this guy must think I am a clown. And frankly speaking, I am a clown. I low-key am a clown, you know, because I keep replying to this guy. Anyways, the guy just keeps contacting me every time it's time to, you know, get to action. He somehow doesn't reply anymore. At this point, I'm starting to get tired of him.
Yeah, whatever, do what you want.
I don't care. A few days later, he contacts me and I'm at Secret Society. He tells me, oh, I'm gonna pass by. Okay, when are you gonna pass by so I know before I leave? And he doesn't reply anymore. So we leave the place and I message him. I'm like, okay, we're leaving. And he doesn't read my message. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then like later on that night, I run across him and he's like, oh, Donna. And he grabs me like this. And I'm like, yeah, you messaged me first. That's what I don't understand. You ask for my Instagram first. You proceed to block me. You contact me to link up. You don't get back at me. You contact me again to link up and you don't reply. And then I just meet you and you're just like, oh, sorry. At this point, I'm done with him. I'm done with the guy. And he's like, no, I'll message you. We really need to link up. And I'm like, I've heard it all before. Just leave me alone. One night, I'm going to Secret Society because that was my OG place to go to. And who do I see in front of my door? It's him with this girl, with some other girl. But the girl didn't look like the girl from his Instagram, if you know what I mean. And then he was like saying, oh, Nuna. Like, but you could see it's not his like sister. Like they had something going on. And I was like, okay. When he saw me, he was like, oh, Tuna. And I'm like, yeah. At this point, I'm not interested. Okay, whatever, do what you're gonna do. And he's trying to explain stuff. And I'm like, no, but let me just go ahead and do what I have to do. Just enjoy your night. I'll enjoy my night. And I'm like in a hurry because I need to be places. So I leave. And I think that's the last time we talked. I think he did try to talk to me again, but I was just over this whole situation. So a few weeks later, when I'm finally back in Belgium, there's this app on KakaoTalk. You can like subscribe to a weekly, daily look, street style fashion kind of magazine online. So I was following those because of outfits. There was this one edition focusing on couples. Who do I see there? I see him with the girl from his Instagram. So what I'm thinking is, Man actually had a girlfriend all this time and was doing all of this bullshit behind her. You know. Smart ass. Yeah, but you know, moral of the story is get a Finsta. This kind of like forced me to grow up and realize that these mans be playing.
Y'all are going to jail! Period!
If you like my story, make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment. You know, I would like to interact with you guys. If you want to watch more story times, I will add a playlist right here with all the story times I've done so far. You're welcome to watch them. Serun content surotashi ortekaji. Don't yes neither. Bye bye.
Call me, bit me, if you want to reach me. Boom.